right, so the SPY is currently trending up during the future hours trading session, and it has now filled that gap at 379.20. So the question is for tomorrow, is this going to be a bull trap or a bear trap? Are the put options going to print by buying at this key resistance level? Or are we going to see a massive breakout to then fill the next gap that's waiting to fill towards $389? This video is going to help you determine if it's going to be a bull or bear trap for tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a very lucrative trading day for the options, as we do have the Friday expirations. So make sure you scale back in your position size and let the bigger percentage returns on the contracts do the work for you, as they're going to be a lot more volatile, cheaper, and lucrative. With that being said, the portfolio is up over 20% on the day. In terms of my day, it was mainly just a couple big wins, like 20 to 50% plus gainers. I had a nice 50% gainer on Roblox in the morning. And then from there, I had some small losses. My losses were very small. They were like 5 to 6%. And then I had 3 wins in a row on SPY puts in the SPX and SPY chat. 3 back-to-back 20% wins on the put options using that strategy towards that 378 level we were discussing yesterday's video. And then after that, I had a bunch of small losses with puts and also calls. Had the right idea, but just kept cutting losses very, very quickly. But overall, it was a phenomenal day. The portfolio was up over 20%. Big shout out to Gundy, absolutely killing it with the consistency. Very nice trade riser with the Roblox puts. Some of you guys have been absolutely crushing it. And this video is really going to show you how to determine how to trade the best setups at the best prices, guys. So is this a bull or bear trap? Look at SPY. Look at SPY. I'm also going to be recapping some of the trades, but right now let's focus on tomorrow, guys. I'm telling you, tomorrow is going to be a phenomenal trading day and a phenomenal opportunity, as we are now at key make it or break it levels. So we've been discussing in these videos the best price to be buying puts in terms of this week on the SPY was towards $378, and those have been printing for 2 days in a row now. I mean, just look at all of the opportunities we've had within the past 2, I mean, technically you could say even 3, but mainly 2 days towards this $378 level. Opportunities right here, opportunities right here. And in terms of today, we had a very nice opportunity right here and right here. On this move right here, I played puts within 3 times. Every single time, SPY was on the back side of the move, topping out at the high of day. I was playing puts whenever it turned previous support into resistance, previous support into resistance, previous support into resistance. So many put opportunities in terms of today at those key resistance levels. When you see SPY topping out at that key 378 level we talked about for the best price for puts in terms of this week. Now here's the deal. SPY had a gap to fill that we've been discussing, which was the true best level at 379.20. It has now technically filled. It just hit 379.21, and it's currently just sitting here during extended hours trading session. So this is going to be the make it or break it zone. I'm going to clear this up for you, and I'm going to prepare you to, trade the SPY tomorrow. This is going to help you master the SPY tomorrow. Here's our zone. This is our zone. We're going to call this zone right now a resistance zone, a fake out zone. I'm gonna show you how to determine if this is gonna be a bull or bear trap tomorrow. And what I'm saying is also relevant into next week. So make sure you write these key levels down for tomorrow. So let's take a look at SPY here. So this is gonna be our overall zone. We're gonna say $380.50, right? So the low of this wick right here, 380.54, right here. This is a key make it or break it level on the SPY. And also $379.20, where the gap is waiting to fill, which is right here. And then our last level, right? So we're going to be talking about 3 levels here. Our last level is going to be, we'll say, $378. Those are our main 3 levels. So in terms of these levels, what I want you to think of as these levels as of now, because it hasn't had a breakout and form support, this is a resistance zone. This is a resistance zone. This is a fake out zone. As you can see, for multiple days, we have major resistance in the low, very, very low, like 380s to 378 range with very nice downside potential. The SPY hit 362. It rocketed back up. We now filled this gap. So what I'm telling you is, if you see weakness, if you see resistance forming, if you see it struggling in between this zone, so the low of the zone is $378. The high of the zone is $380.54. How do I come up with these zone levels? Well, the reason why this $380.54 level is so important is because this is such a key support level that cracked. And once it cracked, it has big downside potential. On this day, it went to 382 and it crashed all the way to 373. It has big downside overall potential. You can also see it wasn't too long ago where it reacted as big upside potential. So for the SPY to truly have a reversal and for the bulls to truly take control and for me to be convinced that the bulls are starting to take some micro control, obviously not for the macro, but for some micro control, for them to explode up, break out and fill the next gap here at 389.80. And then we do also have a gap to fill here at 401.44. For me to be convinced that this is like a bear trap, and what I would really need to see for the micro, so I'm speaking for short-term price action into tomorrow and next week, we need to see a break above 380. We need to see a break above 380.50. If it can break above 380.50 and form very strong support at 380 to 379s, then this is overall micro bullish for a move up into tomorrow to $384. You got a lot of resistance at 384, but overall it'll try to fill the gap within next week at 389.80, right? Now, in terms of, is this a bull trap? This needs to be struggling, and this really, what really needs to occur, it needs to stay under 379.20. We don't even want to see it go to 380.50. Like, this needs to stay under 379.20. It has to start forming resistance. It has to start breaking down. And then in terms of, well, when is this over? When is it just going to fall off a cliff and be a bull trap? For that to really happen and what we're going to need to see heading into tomorrow, look at the 5-day, 5-minute. We're going to need to see a strong crack of this resistance. And it needs to react to strong resistance and start breaking down and forming lower highs once 378 cracks. Once 378 cracks, it just falls off a cliff and it's going to get very, very ugly when it cracks 378. So I just want you to understand, in terms of the lows of the zone, 378 is the low of this zone we're in. We're in a make it or break it bull or bear trap zone right now. That's what we're in. 378 is going to be the low of the zone. 380.50 is going to be the high of the zone. So if 380.50 breaks out, forms support, it rockets to 384, and then next week it starts to fill that gap at 389. If 378 cracks, reacts as a resistance, it sells off hard, how low is it going to be on track to go? It's going to be on track to really drop to, I would say, about $375. So those are the key levels to look for tomorrow. Break above 380.50, it runs to 384. Break below 378, it drops to 375. Now, here's one more level that I want to bring awareness to. So again, it's actually the same level that I just discussed, 378. So right now, SPY is gapping up. It's having a very small gap up at the moment. As you can see, we're now breaking above that key level, right? So SPY is gapping up tomorrow. So for this to be a true bull trap, where the bulls just get crushed tomorrow, and this is a fake out, what needs to happen is SPY needs to go green to red. If we go green to red, I think it's going to be a fantastic opportunity to attempt and try to play the puts. Only if, though, it doesn't go too far away from this 379 to 380.50 level. As long as it doesn't go too far away, I think it's going to be a good opportunity to play puts for a green to red move. But if this goes super far away and it hits 384, like towards pre-market, towards market open, it's not going to be ideal to play that green to red move. If you play 378 and then it goes red, it's not going to be ideal for a key breakdown because the move was so far away. You see what I'm saying? Like, the move is just too far away to have a big profit margin. But if it stays below 380.50 and SPY goes red tomorrow, I think we can drop to 375. So if this stays under 380.50 and if we go red, I think we can go from 378 to 375. But if this just rockets and takes off to 384, then you're really going to have to nail a resistance level put on the SPY. And the true best prices in terms of tomorrow, speaking for puts, if it happened the other way, like I said, 384 and also the gap fill at 389.80. Those would be the two key levels, right? So in terms of like the new overall best level, if 379.30 to 380 reacts to support, starts breaking out, the true best level in terms of next week is going to be 389.80 for Friday as well. But that's what I want you to understand, right? I just want you to understand we're in a make it or break it channel. we're in a bull or bear trap channel. I gave you the levels and I explained to you in some terms how you can determine if it's a bull or bear trap. So if you're seeing weakness towards 380.50 and it goes green to red and it hasn't went too far above 380.50, I think it drops to 375 if that occurs for the green to red move. Now, if this is just looking very strong, we're breaking above 380.50, it's just exploding, we're going to be on track for 384. As of now, I'm really not too interested in trying to buy a call at the moment. I don't want to try to buy a call towards the breakout here. I'm kind of just mainly on sidelines for calls currently at the moment. So I'm mainly just looking for some sort of put opportunity. But right now, this is just looking, we're breaking out right now. So we got to see how this reacts to 380.50. We got to see how this looks heading into tomorrow, into the pre-market, right? So that's what I want you to understand about this buy. We're in this make it or break it zone. We're in this bull or bear trap zone. There is gaps to fill above. But the key level in terms of now that it's rocketing is really going to be this 380.50. I'm telling you, if 380.50 breaks out, reacts to support tomorrow, you see low 380s reacting as support, we're going to explode up to about 384. 384 is a make it or break it level, but overall, I mean, there's a gap to fill above. SPY's trying to push right now. So we got to see how it reacts, but that's just what I want you to understand in terms of the SPY and the make it or break it levels, right? For us to see a strong shift in reversal and for the bulls to take control, we need to break above 380.50, turn it into support. If that occurs, we're pretty much going to be on track for a bullish reversal, for a micro bear trap, and for a push to 389.80 into next week. So for the bulls to show up tomorrow, they need to turn 380.50 into support. That's what needs to occur. If that happens, then it's likely going to be a micro bear trap into Friday and into next week. If 380.50 reacts as a resistance, it's breaking down, it cracks 378, it goes green to red, SPY's bearish, and it's going to be another micro bull trap and not bear trap. That's my thoughts. That's my analysis. Those are the key levels that I'm going to be paying attention to tomorrow. So like I said, 378 is the low of the key level, 378.06. Right here, the middle, this gap fill level, 379.20. And then the high of the channel is going to be 380.50, right? So those are the three key levels. Right? So we're looking to see how it reacts towards the lows and the highs of that price channel, of those levels that I drew out and that I explained for you. Now, let's talk about stocks. So in terms of stocks, not too interested at the moment in like trading stocks currently at the moment. I'm mainly just focused on the SPY, not seeing too many good opportunities with stocks currently in terms of their levels. They're all just kind of trying to break out here, but also due for a little pullback. So don't really want to chase. One opportunity that I found interested, man, I called this out at like 1640 today. I was so close to buying some leap options. I was considering buying some leap options on a DAWN. It had a nice gap up today. It filled the gap, started to reverse, and now it's breaking out. It's just, I really don't want to chase it. It's so high. But this recently had heavy insider buying and the chart does look bullish. It's not my type of breakout pattern though. It's not my type of strategy to buy this though. So I kind of just sit on the sidelines. But man, it does look like it's going to start going to higher. I think within the next 2 months, we can hit right about here, which is $20. I think that's where we're heading. I'm overall bullish on this, but I'm sitting on the sidelines, man. I don't want to chase it. But that was a decent pattern in terms of today. And let's just kind of recap some trades and talk some strategies here before I wrap this up. So like I said, for tomorrow, that's kind of my game plan. And that's what I'm going to be focused on, is mainly just the SPY tomorrow. Not seeing too many opportunities with the SPY currently. Lucid's getting a little interesting. It usually, I've been studying the history of Lucid. It normally has a red day when it goes up 4 green days in a row. And my best days trading Lucid on the put side have been on Fridays. And we've now gone up 4 days in a row, and there's a gap to fill below at 1663. So, I mean, if Lucid can go red tomorrow, I'll play some puts. If we can go green to red tomorrow, I'll play some puts. Taking a look at Lucid, if we can start to sell off and react as a resistance in the 1960s, and if we can crack 1920s, I might consider some Lucid puts for tomorrow. I'm just keeping an eye on it. I got to pay attention to the SPY as well. But I mean, just looking at its overall chart history, it normally doesn't continue for the micro after going up 4 green days in a row. It usually doesn't occur, but we have to see. You know, if it's gapping up and looks strong tomorrow, I'm just going to stay away from it, but I got to see. So that's something on the back burner. It's just in terms of gap strategies right now, you know, stocks just aren't at their key gap fill levels that I look for, but SPY is. SPY just filled the gap at 379.20. It's been reacting as a resistance level for like 3 days almost in a row. So we got to see how it reacts. You know, this is just extended hours. This can flip like a light heading into the pre-market and heading into the market open tomorrow. As of now, it's a bullish reaction. I wouldn't say it's too relevant because, you know, there's no volume to this move. There's no significance to this move. But it is initial reaction. So we just got to kind of wait and see how things react heading into the pre-market. That will give it away. And early into the market open, first 30 minutes to an hour in the market open should give it away, right? So we're going to see if we can form some resistance around that level. The reason why I'm mainly focused on SPY in terms of tomorrow is because it's at the top of the channel. It filled the gap. This is the type of strategy I look for and use. A lot of stocks are just exploding up and they're not at their key gap fill levels like SPY. So looking at stocks tomorrow, I'm not really going to trade them, but they are going to give me a sense and direction of where SPY will head. So I'll be keeping an eye on stocks as well. So what I'm also looking at in terms of like recapping strategies, recapping trades, wow, looking at, man, I mean, just looking at the daily chart, I mean, things are starting to look a little bullish here. I mean, Amazon, this is looking fairly bullish here. And see, this is how looking at stocks can help give you a better idea. Stocks that follow SPY can help give you a better idea where SPY can be heading. Like, I mean, looking at Amazon right now, this looks fairly bullish. You know, it's breaking out, it's forming higher support. It filled the gap right here, had a reversal, key support right here, bottomed at 52-week lows. There's a gap to fill above. Like, Amazon's looking really fucking bullish right now. So looking at stocks that follow SPY, looking at their daily charts can help you determine where the SPY is heading as well. Like Amazon looks a lot more bullish than SPY right now, but they're going to follow in that sense so they can help give you a better sense of where the SPY is heading. Like if you look at the charts right now, SPY is at this key critical make it or break it, this 480.50 level, but it doesn't look the most bullish at the moment. But if you look at Amazon looks a lot more bullish than SPY at the moment, and they're both going to follow each other in a sense. So that can help you out in a way as well. I'd love to see how Amazon reacts. If we can fill that gap tomorrow at 116.50, I'll send an alert for that. We'll see how it reacts. If it forms resistance, I'll look to scalp a put. We'll see how it reacts at 116.15 tomorrow. That could be a great potential trade for tomorrow. So there you go. That's another opportunity. In terms of the VIX, for the VIX, you know, we're at a make it or break it level on the VIX. If this cracks 28.30, we're going to 27.75. So heading into tomorrow, I would like to see how the VIX reacts. If it cracks, I want to see how VIX reacts at 27.75. If we could start bouncing and forming some support here on the VIX at 27.75 at this level right here with a tight stop, I'll look to scalp some puts on SPY. So one thing I could recommend for those of you who are trading SPY tomorrow, I would kind of look to see how the VIX reacts at 27.75. That's one thing I'd look for heading into tomorrow, next week as well. That's a key make it or break it support level that is big upside potential, this right here. So pay attention to that 27.75 level on the VIX tomorrow when trading the SPY. If it reacts to support, starts to bounce, you're going to want to play some puts on SPY. So overall, that's my thoughts in terms of recapping some trades, recapping some strategies, some tips, some tricks. Roblox. I played Roblox puts at open. It was absolutely crazy, man. It is crazy how fast these printed. I'm gonna show you how I was able to determine this. Let me pull this up right here. Let's see. So let me scroll back. We got so much information within the chat just off today. So let me scroll up here. Give me one moment. So yeah, I mean, I alerted Roblox put options at market open. Within 1 minute, I was up 27%. And remember, I lost 18% of my contracts on Roblox puts playing at open yesterday. Did the same thing today, made it all back and more. I was up 50% in 3 minutes. I locked in for like a 35 to 40% return in 3 minutes. I got out super quickly. The reason why I decided to play puts is SPY wasn't looking too bullish. So here, let's do a comparison here. We're going to pull up Roblox here. Let me extend this here. Let me make this smaller so you guys can see this visually. This will help you with like quick scalping opportunities. So we got Roblox on the left and we got SPY on the right. Let me fix that for you here. Okay, so Roblox on the left, SPY on the right. let's take a look. So that's SPY and okay, so yeah, so here we go. So let's take a look at the 1 day, 1 minute, and let's take a look at SPY today. I mean, if you just look at Roblox in the morning, it didn't look bullish. We topped out at 31.94. There was a gap to fill right here. At 30, what was it, $32? Let me extend this. So forget the SPY right now. Let me just show you Roblox. So there was a gap to fill at $32.83, right? We topped out at 31.90. And in terms of how did it look, how was it looking? The 5 minute gave it away. For me, it was the 5 minute. When I saw this wick form on the 5 minute chart, I was like, I'm going to play a partial gap close reversal. It looks like it wants to go red. As soon as I saw this wick starting to form on the 5 minute, I bought a 31 put strike. I believe I bought the puts when the price was at like 31.50, 31.60. So like 50, 60 points out of the money. As soon as I got in, they became deep in the money. I got a 31 strike. It quickly dropped to 30.50. And then I exited very rapidly on like the first, pretty much the first green candle. I exited very rapidly. But yeah, I basically accumulated those puts right here on this candle right here because it was forming wicks of resistance. The 5 minute was looking bearish. It wasn't looking bullish. And if you just looked at Roblox, it looked like it just wanted to go red. That's what it looked like it wanted to do. And I was looking at it yesterday and I was saying, man, we got a lot of support. We got a lot of support here at 30.50s. We got a lot of support at 30.50s with big upsides at $32. We still have a gap to fill at 32.80. So I figured, you know, if this looks bearish at this key resistance level towards the gap level, and if it looks like it wants to come down to fill this gap, I'm going to take a quick scalp where my puts become, you know, slightly in the money to then deeper in the money. And then I lock in profits on that first green candle. So right around here, I got out at the 30.70s, locked in profits super fast because I'm aware that there's a lot of support. And if it has that first green candle and doesn't keep cracking down, it's probably going to bounce back to my initial entry. It's going to attempt to have a gap close reversal where it fills this gap and where it fills this gap right here and has that reversal. So pretty much I was using the gap fill strategy. I was playing for the gap to fill, looking at yesterday's chart, key resistance, nice downside potential, playing puts a resistance with the 5 minute bearish confirmation wick. Right? So this is what that wick looks like right here on the put options. This is the wick right here, right? Play the puts, looks bearish, goes from green to red. Once it starts to hit that support level, if it forms green candles, where's the support? Your support is right here at 30.70. Your support is right here at 30.50. Big upsides, been trying to fill the gap at 32.80s, right? So if it starts consolidating, forms green candles right here towards that support, I'm going to take my wins. You know, if I'm up 50% in 3 minutes on my puts, I'm likely just going to get out and take profits. Typically in those situations where I'm up a lot on puts, they will typically go in my favor more. But for the most part, if we hit a key support level and it's forming a green candle on my puts, I'm most likely just going to get out and take my profits, and I can always look to re-enter. And I tried to re-enter. I re-entered, took a small 10% loss. So it just goes to show you the win rate doesn't matter, man. You cut your losers super quick on the SPY, man. I did well on the SPY puts. If you guys are watching in the SPY and SPX chat today, I was killing it right here. This is where I was killing it on the back side of the move. I kept telling you guys that 378 is going to be the best level for puts, that 378, right? And it did a very similar move to what it did yesterday. SPY did the same exact thing for the most part to what it did yesterday. It, you know, had this move up. We had this move up. And then you could see it starts to top out at 378, tops out at 378, tops out at 378. It goes under the previous closing price, has a reversal. It goes under the previous closing price, has a reversal back to highs, has a reversal back to highs. Except today, we didn't get that big sell-off during the midday again. We didn't get the big sell-off during the midday again. But in this particular situation, you know, I analyzed, okay, it topped out in the pre-market at 378, once again, like it has been doing. It sold off very hard to 374.70. I was expecting a green to red move. So when we ripped back towards these highs, I waited for the back side of the move to occur. How can you determine when the back side of the move occurs? So we've identified for multiple days now that this 378 is a major resistance level. It's been selling off hard every single time it hits 378. If you've been paying attention to the trends, when it hits that 378, it goes under the previous closing price. When it goes under the previous closing price, it rips back up to the high of day. It rips back up to the high of day. It rips back up to the high of day. Literally every single time, pretty much this week, when it went under the previous closing price, it ripped back up towards the high of the day. So in terms of how to determine the backside of the move, pay attention. Now it reacts to 378 right here. It hits 378. It fakes out. It reacts bearish. It sells off to 376.70. It retests 378. It reacts bearish. These wicks are going to help you. When you see these red bearish wicks, these right here, at key resistance, 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 this is all bearish. Pay attention to those wicks, right? And then in terms of how to determine the backside, this right here is a backside confirmation. See how it bounces and forms a wick at this support. It consolidates, it bounces at this support. What is it doing differently right here? It forms a lower high. See how it's not forming the wick right here, the bullish wick at the bottom. Instead, it's forming the wick at the top. See how the wick's at the top and the wick's at the bottom? Wick's at the bottom, it ramps up. Wicks at the top, sells off. Wicks at the top, sells off, sells off. You see the difference? And see how it's forming that lower high at that previous support level. So if it forms that lower high at that previous support level, this is confirmation to play puts for the backside right here at 377 and then look to ride it back down for that green to red move. I played puts 3 times in a row, didn't fully maximize on each one, but in terms of those 3 times, back to back to back 20% wins. And I had a very nice win in the morning for Roblox for 40%. And then I had probably today 6 or 7 losses that were like 6%. But in terms of my wins, I had 3 20% wins and I had 1 40% win. So the losses are microscopic. Sometimes when I enter a trade, I try to keep my losses super short. In terms of like my midday scalps, I've been trying to keep them under 10%. I've been trying to aim for like 5-6% loss. So sometimes when you do that, you're going to get in, you're going to get out, take a loss. You're going to get in, you're going to get out, take a loss, get in, get out, take a loss. Sometimes you have to take a couple losses, even in a row, as long as they're small, to nail the big side, the big win of the trade. I had an idea. I was trying to buy calls. I kept trying to buy calls. It just wasn't working out. So I gave up on it. And then it finally exploded, which really pissed me off. And then I played puts again. Right here. As soon as it hit 378, I played puts. As soon as I got in, it dropped to 370, 745. I was up 10%. I wanted a 20% win because it sold off a lot bigger yesterday and I couldn't get it. And I got stopped out for break even on the trade. But overall, for the most part, the wins were much bigger than the losses. And if you're scalping, you're cutting losses quickly, like it doesn't matter if you have a bunch of small 5% losses when you're hitting 20%, 40% gainers. So overall, it was a good day. But right around here, it was just getting very annoying. I just kept trying to scalp, It wasn't working out. But this backside of the move, man, these are great examples right here. Here's another backside of the move. Your support is right here towards the bottom of these wicks. It forms the lower highs. It forms the resistance. Right here is another backside of the move. I played puts right here as well. Great confirmation. Look at the support. Your support's at 375.50, the wicks, and then it reacts as a resistance. What I tell you about these top red wicks, and then it sells off to 373. I played puts 3 times within this downtrend for 20% wins. And then after that, I started playing puts again. I started playing calls again, just very small microscopic 5 to 6%. And then right around here, it got to the point where I became very bullish, but I just kept getting out. Of my calls. It just wouldn't work out. Every time I got in, I'd be down like 5%. I'd cut it, and then it just wouldn't work out. And then it finally exploded up, man. That call situation was predictable. I just wanted to keep my losses small, and I just lacked the patience. I wasn't getting the best entries as well in terms of the call side. But overall, today was a pretty good day. I mean, the portfolio is up over 20%. It could have been a lot better, but I mean, for 3 nice wins on SPY puts and then that win on Roblox puts, like that Roblox trade could have been terrible. Like this could have been a very, very bad trade if I didn't lock in my profits. But if I'm up 50% in a couple minutes, like I'm taking a profit, especially in the morning, man. The morning, it could flip like a light. I'm telling you, especially around 9:50 a.m., it can flip like a light. With that being said, if you want to trade live with us every single day at Market Open, it's going to be the first link down below in the description where you can join Trader Society. You get instant lifetime access. You get access to the chat room. You get access to the Discord server, the members, the moderators within the Discord, all the gap trading strategies, the video lesson library. We get to learn how to trade the gap trading strategies, get to learn how to trade the options both ways, how to go long, how to go short, how to buy the calls, how to buy the puts, how to trade the SPY, how to trade these stocks using the unique gap trading strategies that I've created. Also working on developing a new scalp trading strategy designed for that midday. I'm telling you, I've been doing very well on midday. Had a very good trade at market open, and then I had 3 very good trades on SPY towards the middle of the day. So if you want to learn how to trade the best setups at the best prices, if you want to learn how to trade these options, it's going to be the first link down below in the description. All the information is explained. As soon as you join, it's instant lifetime access. You can get started trading with us tomorrow live at market open. You also get access to the stock analysis, the watch list, the price action analysis, the real-time trade alerts, the chat room, the video lesson library, and of course the live trading streams. You get to watch me trade live on stream every single day. So with that being said, I'm gonna wrap it up. That's gonna be tonight's video lesson. I'm looking forward to crushing the SPY tomorrow. I will see you guys tomorrow live at market open.